Rialto Music Market. ¿Ya conocías estas bandas? ¿Qué otro? Melodías épicas y relatos mitológicos. La fuerza clásica del power llevada con identidad colombiana. Melodías épicas y relatos mitológicos. La fuerza clásica del power llevada con identidad colombiana.
She's the best in the outback. Jordan, you mean pie? Whoa, mania!
I think you mean
rigged the midterm elections, and how I fear that we will not have an election in 2028. I really mean that at the core of my soul, unless we wake up to the code red, what's happening in this country, and we wake up soberly to how serious this moment is.
1. Attack commencing. Escort the payload.
There's a guy by the name of Sam Nunberg. Sam was Trump's really first political advisor. All Trump people would say, well, if you need to understand anything about Trump, you got to go to Sam. And I go to Sam, and I say, okay, help me understand. And then Sam looks at me. There's a quick pause, and I can still feel this. And he said, you don't get it, do you? Okay? He said, it's an idiot. And at that moment, it all came clear to me, because Trump is, in very classic terms, an idiot. I go to Sam. I say, okay, help me understand. And Sam, there's a guy by the name of Sam Nunberg. Sam was Trump's really first political advisor. All Trump people would say, well, if you need to understand anything, you got to go to Sam. And I go to Sam, I say, okay, help me understand. And Sam looks at me. There's a quick pause, and I can still feel this. And he said, you don't get it, do you? Okay? He said, he's an idiot. And at that moment, it all came clear to me. Because Trump is, in very classic terms, an idiot.
Michael Wolf.
Joanna Cole.
Back in the house. I feel like you've
in the country.
And in the country.
There was a moment as I passed through customs where I got a second look.
Well, they probably thought you were Fred on. And I feel like your appearance on the side of Windsor Castle probably resulted in an honorary night.
I'm waiting.
There is so much has happened since you've been away. I almost don't know where to start, except that, as you're always saying, Epstein, and as Trump is always saying, Epstein.
And because, and they call me, people around Trump call me and says 3 times, did it again. That's what he says. So it must dwell in his head.
Well, where are we going today?
Yes. inside Trump's head.
Inside Trump's head. So, we're not going to spend any more time discussing Britain except for the fact that Prince Andrew's former wife, Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, has now had to resign from 7 charities because she is another scalp that has been collected by the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein.
And another person who was a genuine, long-term friend of Epstein's. I mean, Epstein bailed her out. I mean, she owed him. And then, actually, that's a sort of an interesting thing because, when the moment came, she threw him over. And then, disgracefully, came crawling back through the back door.
But I never called you a pedophile. That seemed to be the thing that her friendship, she was pleading to come back because she knew he was an ATM.
And a friend. I mean, that's,
Be a friend if someone lends you money, though. I wonder about that. Do you lend friends money? Have you lent friends money?
I haven't, but I would if I could.
Okay. All right, well, that's useful to know. Anyway, she's had to resign from her 7th charity. Most of them were involved in children, and of course she's had to resign them. But she's got no one to go to now as an ATM. I guess maybe she's going to the Middle East.
Then she sucked toes.
My entire
that was some time ago, but there was an amazing anecdote that I read in Tom Sykes's column, The Royalist, now on Substack, and the Daily Beast, which is that Prince Margaret in particular was furious with her, and she had sent some flowers to Princess Margaret, who was the Queen's younger sister. And Princess Margaret sent her the flowers back with a note saying, "How dare you send me flowers? You have brought nothing but disgrace on this family."
So many people in this family have brought nothing but disgrace.
Not least Fergie's husband, Prince Andrew. Anyway, we've got Charlie Kirk to talk about. We've got Jimmy Kimmel to talk about. We've got Kash Patel to talk about. Have you got your affirmation notes, your self-help notes with Instagram affirmations?
Be strong.
This is where he sat at his...
Tell it like it is.
Right. Yeah, be strong, right, fight hard.
I mean, this is just another aspect of another one of these people in this administration who knows nothing about nothing.
And shouldn't be in the job.
Obviously should not be in this job. I mean, let's get this. The podcaster then is now running the
You're being unfair because he has got experience selling T-shirts. It was a T-shirt.
Yeah, this is a fundamental
skill to be in the FBI. You need to understand the balance.
But it's just, again, you just peel a little back and you just see that these people are complete amateurs and they know it. I mean, why else would you have little things that be sure? Good idea. Go before Congress and be strong.
Be strong. And then attack, right? The Kavanaughization of all these select committees is kind of crazy in the way he was shouting at Adam Schiff, poor Adam Schiff. It was just, and how stressful for Kash Patel, because there's nothing more stressful than being in a job that you shouldn't be in. Especially when the eyes of the world are on you.
The thing that is more stressful is being called up in front of Congress. That is the ultimate.
Have you ever been called up in front of Congress?
I have not. And it makes me feel like I've
Okay, well, I'm sure they will call you.
Actually, I was something I had said he was confronted with this, and it was a very relevant point because I had pointed out the pictures that I had seen that Epstein showed of Donald Trump. And
this is Donald Trump with topless girls sort of leaning in.
Yeah, about a dozen pictures, all taken in the back around the pool of Epstein's house on Palm Beach, the scene of the crime. And And no one has seen that. They were in. Epstein kept them in his safe, and I mean, it's not unreasonable to assume that they were in the safe when the FBI came and raided Epstein's house. So I do not know that for certain, but I do know Epstein kept the pictures in his safe. So Kash Patel was confronted by I think Congressman Raskin.
Jamie Raskin.
Yes, who said, what about this? What do you know about what was in the safe? Were these pictures in the safe? And he, just basically didn't respond, just stoned.
Well, he probably doesn't know, right? Because he doesn't seem to know very much at all.
Yeah, I mean, they may have disappeared at any point. I mean, remember, this happened, Epstein died in 2019. But nevertheless...
So his house was raided in 2019 before he was arrested or after he was arrested?
Basically simultaneously, that was all happened on that.
Well, the pictures have
on
gone.
that Saturday.
The pictures have gone.
Yeah, they had gone, assuming that they were there. And again, I don't know for a fact that they were there. I know only for a fact that they were there.
And when were you shown? What year, roughly?
Probably, he had been elected president, so 17, I was writing Fire and Fury. So probably 2017, 2018.
Okay. So either the FBI has them or someone else has them in the household.
Kash Patel has them in his yeah.
Well, just as well he didn't pull them out in front of Congress instead of his application notes, right? Can you imagine? But there's something very humanizing about seeing someone's information notes like that. But unfortunate that he put them in front of the camera.
A lesson we should all remember.
A lesson we should all remember.
No notes.
No
can do it, yay.
notes here, but only because there's so many subjects I want to cover. So obviously the memorial for Charlie Kirk, huge stadium, incredibly impressive speech by Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow. And I thought when I watched it, I'm watching the future of the Republican Party because what
I've spent some time thinking about this, and I realized that Charlie Kirk is not a political figure. He's just that's just a pretense. I'm a political figure. I'm a MAGA guy. Right? He's not. He's a religious figure. I mean, that's what he's doing, and you can see everything he does. This whole campus tour is like an old-fashioned evangelical, preacher in the tent revival meeting. That's what he does, and there's little pretense otherwise. By the way, it's all about if you don't believe in Jesus and the traditional place for. The traditional role for women, the superiority of the men, then you're outside of the circle of salvation. And, the interesting thing is that, the truth is that religion in the United States is not very popular.
Far fewer people are going to church, far fewer people are going to temple, to mosque, any of it, right? And that accelerated during COVID too.
Totally. So what he's done is repackage this as politics.
Oh, interesting. That is an interesting way of looking at it.
So and I think to me this is a gift. Democrats. It can be a central issue because if you confront people, you offer people and say, do you think that there should be a separation of church and state? People say yes, because they do believe that. And suddenly this is the exact opposite. This is trying to merge the two in a very real, theocratic